Very good morning, children. I am Shanti, Department of Physics. In our last class, we saw about human eye structure and the defects of vision. Today, we see about the refraction of light through a prism and dispersion. What is meant by prism? Prism is a transparent refracting medium bounded by at least two lateral surfaces inclined to each other at certain angle. It has two triangular bases and three rectangular lateral surfaces. Okay. First, let us see refraction of light through prism activity. To have a better understanding, have a look at the following video and you can try it for yourself. So let's begin with the experiment, and this experiment will almost be same as the refraction through glass slab experiment. First of all, fix two bell pins on the sheet placed on the wooden board. Place the prism on the A4 sheet and draw the outline of the prism as shown in the video. Okay, outline of the prism, and then remove the prism. Name the three vertex of the angular prism, triangular prism as A, B and C. Choose any point on the line AB. Okay. Mark 90 degree by placing a protector at that particular point. Okay. Mark 90 degree by placing a protector at that particular point. That's a normal. Join the lines of the normal along the marked points. Name them as N and N dash. Mark this point as O. Okay. Keep the protector exactly at point along the normal and make an angle of 35 degree. Making angle with the normal. Okay, 35 degree. With the help of a scale, join this point. Now you get an incident ray. Okay, mark this a EO. Okay, EO, this line, incident ray EO. Now EO becomes the incident ray, and the angle EON is the angle of incidence I. Okay. So far you have got the incident ray EO and the angle of incidence EON. Is that clear? You have to fix two pins on the incident ray exactly vertical. Okay. You have to fix two pins on the incident ray exactly vertical. Mark this as P1, P2 and place the prism on the trace boundary. Remember, in absence of any particular medium, light ray will always travel in straight line, showing a rectilinear propagation. So here we can say that light ray is traveling along a medium called as air, and in absence of this triangular glass prism, it must have traveled a very straight line path without taking any deviation. Now try to observe the image of the two pins along the other face of the triangular glass prism. Slowly adjust the position of your head in such a way the two pins align themselves to form single image as shown in the video. Okay, do this procedure very slowly so which you make that observation very clearly. Okay, now fix the third pin in such a way that it aligns itself with the two images of the pin that you see along the face of the prism. Now the three pins appear to fall in a single straight line. Okay, single straight line. Take the fourth pin and place it in such a way that it aligns itself with the two images visible from the face of the prism, and the third pin so that the three pins appear to be in a single straight line. Encircle the pin picked areas and mark it as P3 and P4. Remove the glass prism. Join the points P3 and P4 with the help of a scale. Okay, join the points P3 and P4 with the help of a scale. At this particular point, mark it as Q. Okay, mark it as Q. Along the marked point Q and along the face AC, place the protector and mark the normal, that is 90 degree. Okay, join the points and mark the normal as M dash. M dash. Okay, join points O and Q by using your scale. Okay, ray OQ will show the path of the refracted ray. Now looking at it, is clear visible that an incident ray EO, when it enters from air into glass slab, it bends towards the base of the prism, and once it emerges out again, it outwards. Okay, it bends outwards. So here you can see that the ray EO is the incident ray, and as enters from a rarer medium into denser medium, it bends towards the normal. Okay, and as it enters from a denser into rarer medium, it bends away from the normal. Now extend EO using a scale and also extend RQ. Okay, and also extend RQ. Now you can see that angle found the produced incident ray and the emergent ray is called the angle of deviation, and angle of deviation is given by a Greek letter delta. Okay, angle of deviation delta. So we have an angle of deviation which denoted by delta. Now again your protector, and with the help of protector measure the angle of deviation. Okay, measure the angle of deviation. In this case the angle of deviation equal to 48 degree. Same way, so angle of deviation is 48 degree in this case. Okay, same way we have to measure angle of emergence with help of the protector. Keep the protector at point Q and measure the angle of emergence. In this particular case you can see that the angle of emergence is close to 75 degree. Okay, in this case angle of emergence is 75 degree. So angle of emergence is equal to 75 degree. Now the angle of the prism is this is equilateral prism. So the angle of the prism is 60 degree. You can see from the diagram that this is the incident ray and this is the normal, and the angle formed is the angle of incidence. So this is refracted ray, this is the emergent ray, and this is the angle of emergence, and next one is the angle of deviation. This is the angle of the prism. Okay, now by observing this video you can follow the procedure as per the instruction given, and you can find the angle of emergence and the angle of deviation for various angles. Now let us see dispersion of light. The world is full of colors. You must have seen the colors of the rainbow. Where do these colors originate from? Some flowers have bright colors. Butterflies and peacock have attractive colors. The sky is blue. The yellow sun is red at sunrise and sunset. We wonder how these colors appear. In this part of the chapter, we shall discuss the origin of colors. You will learn that the phenomenon of dispersion of light is mainly responsible for the production of colors in nature. Okay. Next, we will see the dispersion of light performed by that Newton's experiment. To understand the meaning of dispersion, let us repeat the activity which Newton first performed in 1665. Take a glass prism and allow a beam of white light to fall on off its face on entering the prism. A beam of light splits into 7 colors and forms a broad patch on a white screen placed on the path of the split beam. The red color is at the top and the violet is at the bottom of the pattern on the screen. It shows that with respect to the direction of incident beam, red color has the least deviation and violet has the maximum deviation. The band of 7 colors formed on a white screen is called spectrum of white light. The splitting of white light into its 7 constituent colors on passing through a transparent medium like glass is called dispersion of light. Next one, causes of dispersion. Now we all know that white light comprises of 7 different colors with GR. Light rays of 7 different colors travel with same speed in vacuum and air. But in any other medium, they travel with different speeds and bend through different angles, which leads to the dispersion of light. So in simple words, the cause for the dispersion is the difference in wavelength of these different colors in the white light. Since red light has the maximum wavelength and violet light has the minimum wavelength. So in any medium, red light travels faster and deviates least, while violet light travels slowest and deviates maximum. That is, wavelength proportional to velocity inversely proportional to deviation. This is a small experimental video to understand the dispersion happening in white light. when passed through glass prism. In this experiment, you will see a glass bulb hang on your left corner of the screen and emits light. This light falls on one of the refracting surfaces of the prism, which is kept in a room. This narrow beam of white light travels through the prism, gets splits into 7 different colors and comes out of the other surface of the prism. As studied earlier, the 7 different colors are the VIBGYOR. You will be able to see the spectrum on the walls of the room. Okay? Spectrum on the walls of the room. Now we have seen that white light is dispersed into 7 color component by a prism, and we also see that different colors of light bend through different angles. Okay, different angles with respect to the incident ray as they pass. Okay, the red light is seen to bend least, violet the most. Okay, 7 different colors are the VIBGYOR. The red light is seen to bend the least and violet the most. Okay, red color is the upside of the spectrum, violet is the downside of the spectrum. Okay, so narrow beam of white light passes through the prism and it splits into 7 colors. Isaac Newton was the first one to conduct this experiment. Just ensue 2 prisms close to each other, one in erect position, the other is an inverted position. Take a triangular glass prism ABC and keep it on its base BC. Take another identical prism A dash, B dash, C dash and place it alongside the prism ABC in the upside down position on its vertex A dash. The light gets dispersed when passed through the first prism. The second prism receives all the 7 colored rays from the first prism and recombines them into original white light. The observation shows that white light is made of 7 colors. One beautiful example of dispersion of light is found in nature in the form of a rainbow. As you know, a rainbow is the spectrum of 7 colors visible in the sky, typically in the rainy season. It is produced by the dispersion of sunlight, that is white light, by raindrops in the sky. Okay. A rainbow is always formed in the direction opposite to that of the sun. The water droplets act like a small prism. Actually, the rainbow formed due to refraction and total internal reflection. Okay. They refract and disperse the incident sunlight, then reflect it internally and refract it again when it comes out of the raindrop. Due to the dispersion of light and internal reflection, different colors reach the observer's eye. So, presence of water droplet in the atmosphere and then sunlight, it comes rainbow. Okay. So, reach the observer's eye. The rainbow is formed opposite side of the sun. So water droplet in the red region. Okay. So it reflect, and then that enters the water droplet. Again that ray total internal reflection occur. So the rainbow is formed. The rainbow consists of that 7 colors WebGR. So it acts as a prism. So the raindrop acts as a prism. The sunlight enters into the droplet. First phase it reflects, and then again that second phase enter the totally internal reflection. Okay. After the total internal reflection, dispersion occur. So the splitting up into 7 colors. Total internal reflection means complete reflection of a ray of light within medium such as water or back into the medium. The phenomenon occurs if the angle of incidence greater than the critical angle. So certain limiting angle, that is critical angle. In general, the total internal reflection takes place at the boundary between two transparent media. When a ray of light in a medium, higher index of refraction approaches the other medium at an angle of incidence greater than the critical angle. At all angle less than the critical angle, both refraction and reflection occur in the varying proportion. So the after total internal reflection, okay, again it refract and disperse it. So produce a 7 spectral colors, that is WebGR. So the rainbow formed due to first one reflection, and then dispersion, total internal reflection, and then again dispersion. So reflection and total internal reflection, dispersion. So these 3 process involved in the formation of rainbow. Okay. Rainbow is the example of dispersion of light. Okay. Water droplet in the violet region means first formed violet. Suppose 2 times total internal refraction occurs means secondary rainbow is formed. Okay. Thank you, children. Just to add more value to today's session, I would like to emphasize a memory device called mnemonics. What is mnemonics? Whenever we have piles and piles of books to be read with bunches of formulas, theorems, rules, laws, some of us may struggle to understand and remember all of this. Well, mnemonics is the solution to your problems. Mnemonics. Many of us might be familiar with this term, and some of us might already be using it. For others, mnemonics is a technique used to memorize, remember, and recall important concepts, formulas, laws, theorems, etc. One can devise and utilize their own mnemonic according to their comfort and strength. For example, if someone is good in numbers and maths, they can try and form their own mnemonic terms in numbers and use it for their own purpose. Somebody is good in remembering things through their photographic memory. They can frame their own mnemonics in the form of pictures or try to relate what has to be remembered to a movie or a video which they like and easily remember the associated data. Already there are 9 types of mnemonics that are commonly in practice. That is, one is music, second name, third one expression or word, fourth one model, fifth one rhyme, sixth one note organization, seventh one image, eighth one connection, and ninth one spelling mnemonics. We can also adopt and use these mnemonic terms which are already in practice or try and form one by ourselves. For example, WebGR is commonly used mnemonics which is in practice worldwide. WebGR means violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red.